So geolocation and mobile strategies and geolocation technology, this has actually been somewhat in use since 1999. And it has a wide range of applications from automated payment processing to getting specials of some kind. When you add Global Positioning System or GPS to a mobile device, it transforms it into a really targeted lens focused on its immediate proximate surroundings. Mobile applications that make use of GPS technology are things like Facebook Check-in, Foursquare, Yelp, and you may know of some others. But the concept is basically the same for all. When someone's using their mobile with geolocation capability, the location of that person is pinpointed for marketers to use. Applications like this open up a whole new realm of marketing opportunities. Many restaurants, for example, will offer specials for people who check in and are dining there. They might get a free appetizer or dessert. These techniques seem to work best for location-based businesses and special events. One of the great examples of this being put to use is by KLM Airlines. They have this program called Random Acts of Kindness, and passengers who shared their flight information on applications like Foursquare or Twitter have been met with the gate with things like a glass of champagne, a free upgrade, or a gift like a book. And people were really delighted by the surprise, and they raved about it on social networks. That really helped deliver some positive awareness for KLM. So let's take a look at KLM's Random Acts of Kindness.
Welcome to KLM Surprise. Armed with our social media toolkit, our little experiment began. First job, find KLM passengers who had checked into their flight via one of KLM's Foursquare locations or left a message through Twitter. Second job, search their social profiles. Get to know them as well as you can to think of a personalized gift. Third job, hunt them down and deliver the gift. After several weeks of handing out little gifts, a few things became apparent. In the age of social media, doing something that creates a real smile on somebody's face is much cooler than attaching a smiley face. But most importantly, it seemed that indeed an airline could use social media to both surprise and make a small difference to a passenger's day. And we're not just guessing, we know, because they told us, and their friends, massively.
So you can see what kind of buzz that generated and how it helped with positive impressions for KLM. It's a movement called SOLO-MO, social, local, and mobile. So when you integrate a mobile website with fresh content and location-based offers, that convergence can really reap dividends. The travel industry in particular is trying to optimize on this. Social speaks to what we do as humans and how we share our travel experiences. Mobile speaks to our sort of always on-the-go nature, and local speaks to the need for information from our immediate environment. So mobile apps are directing and providing directions. They're pushing specials and tips, as well as customer service solutions. So imagine serving a mobile ad or a coupon promoting your on-site restaurant's happy hour from 6 to 8 to a business traveler that is actually located within 5 miles of your hotel with a particular interest in dining and entertainment. Suddenly, an ad impression no longer simply garners a click, it answers a consumer need. So that can give you an idea of the influence and the action that can be garnered from integrating the social, the local, and the mobile. Another example, Brian Solis, who is a social media author, he tells the story of being with a friend one night in Hollywood, and he was craving a late night snack. He'd heard about a company that said if you sent out a tweet requesting their presence, there was a good chance they would stop by the neighborhood to serve you dinner. So they tweeted, and about 30 minutes later, Koji, which made barbecue, was outside of Brian's hotel, and a group of 25 to 30 people immediately began proclaiming their appreciation for Koji on Twitter. The 2007 South by Southwest conference really was the beginning of using Twitter as a connecting force. Attendees there started alerting their friends and followers where they were, what they were doing, as well as saying, here's where the next meetup is going to be. So they used Twitter as a real-time, human-powered positioning system. Now, what's really great about some of these initiatives here is the data that you can get from them. It can be really powerful. You can get data on key market trends that come up with customer profiles. Customers can benefit too from access to information that can be really relevant to them and when they're making a purchasing decision, to location-specific discounts and services. So you can garner all kinds of useful information that's helpful for the organization, but also helpful for your customers. Now, there is a caution here, though. There are growing concerns about online privacy and some practices that businesses use around the collection and storing of all of these, all this kind of personally identifiable information. The risk of identity theft is on the rise, especially when businesses collect your information and then don't maintain it securely. So it's good to make sure your company privacy policy really reflects here's what we're getting from you and here's how we're using it. To be completely ethical about the collection of this data, you really want to inform your consumers about what's being collected and how you're using it and how you're storing it. Researchers at Carnegie Mellon actually did a study which identified these particular areas of concern with customers. They are concerned about who's collecting the data, how it's being used, who it's being shared with, and how long it's actually being stored. They do really hate being spammed by ads or offers. And if there's an accidental sharing of location data, that can sometimes be annoying, embarrassing, or it can be a danger to somebody's safety. One of the concerns is that you post where you are, then people know that you're probably not at home. So there's a group of consumer advocates that got together and they wanted to generate some awareness of the issue of robbers in particular, knowing based on your social media posts that you're not home. So they created this site called pleaserobme.com, and I wanted to show you just a brief video. It's kind of a satiric take on all of these location-based services.
Hi, Laura Feldman, 1938 Media. They've gone and done it and finally built the best social media site ever, as they say on the internet. What is it? PleaseRobMe.com. What is PleaseRobMe.com? It combines Twitter and Foursquare to let the robbers know when you're not home. I think this is great. It combines the best aspects of social media and brings in an e-commerce component that's been desperately missing. Now, the only thing that could go wrong with this system is that basically all you bloggers and people who use Foursquare don't actually have anything of value for people to rob. So That could be the rub with this whole system, is that most of you are too poor and stupid to actually have anything of value worth robbing. But still, I like this conceptually. I think it's a great site. And like I said, once again, finally combining the best aspects of social media and commerce. Please visit pleaserobme.com. Please support these people. They're doing good work in the community. Lauren Feldman, 1938 Media.
So I'll just scroll up here so you can see the actual website. Here it is, Please Rob Me, raising awareness about oversharing. And they're doing it in kind of a tongue-in-cheek fashion. But there you have it. Those are definitely, that's a concern with some of these location-based strategies, that people are revealing too much information about where they are, and more importantly, where they are not. Some other concerns is that knowing somebody's location can allow you to push some really good information to them, such as ads for local business, but how do you know what will be really considered relevant to your consumer? Are you sending them a bunch of information they're not interested in and basically being very spammy? When you use this in excess, it begins to look like spam, and consumers will tune you out. So you want to make sure that you use this very strategically, and make sure that you're using the right amount and giving them the right information. So this is where all that data measurement and tracking can really come in handy, so that you can see, wow, we're really not getting much of a response on this one. 5 people unsubscribed based on this email or this offer. So definitely be tracking and seeing if there are trends there in people kind of dumping out of your programs because you're sending them too much stuff, or stuff that's irrelevant. Now, Europe is way more strict on some of these e-privacy issues than we in the United States are. We are considering some legislation to deal with some of these issues that have arisen, but they're not nearly as strict as what Europe has. They have an e-privacy directive, and a lot of their regulations in Europe say you have to let the person know, for example, that you're placing a cookie on their computer to track their what websites they visit. You have to let people know, this is the information we're collecting, here's how we're going to use it, and here's how it will be stored, and here's how long we'll store it. They really have to inform their consumers and not keep any data that is not relevant. Once a transaction has taken place, then they're pretty much supposed to dump the data from that customer unless the customer consents to them keeping it, or if that data is needed for ongoing billing purposes. They're just much more rigorous about how data is handled in Europe than they are here. The Federal Trade Commission has signaled that they intend to take some more action here, but so far it has been pretty conservative. They haven't done a whole lot in terms of electronic privacy and data collection. But because we are a global economy, you're probably going to see Europe demanding that the U.S. Treat data more carefully than they have in the past. So as you think about your social media campaign plans, whether you're doing it as an individual or a group, it says group projects there, but you could be doing it by yourself, I want you to brainstorm some ways that you might be able to integrate geolocation strategies into your campaigns. What are some ways that you can take advantage of strategies for location-based offers?